My favorite module of all time is the Labyrinth of Madness. It was published for 2nd edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, and it was intended to be a new Tomb of Horrors kind of thing for a new age. Fairly light on role-playing and combat, but wickedly difficult with puzzles and traps. For some reason, Room C2, which is called the Color of Magic, has stuck with me throughout the years, so I figured why not build it and walk you through it. So here's the excerpt from the map as taken from the inside cover. The floor of the first portion of the room consists of colored tiles. For unique, bespoke situations like this, I don't bother with the usual 2x2 form factor, I just build the whole room. You can revisit episodes 1 through 4 or my first live stream if you need to refresh on the basic dungeon tile construction techniques, but for sake of completeness, I'll just linebacker through the high points. The segment is 40 feet long and 20 feet wide. So the foundation needs to be 9 15/16 of an inch long and 4 7/8 of an inch wide. Cut strips of chipboard that are 3/4 of an inch wide. Again, see the link in the description below for the chipboard that I use. And hot glue them to the 3 sides that have walls. Cut 1/2 inch wide strips of foam board. Peel the paper from one side and texturize with bricks. Then glue those to the walls. Now for the spaces themselves, I actually used chipboard again, and these will only be 1 layer thick. Cut out 1 1/4 inch squares. You need 32 of them. Then paint them red, blue, and yellow. Look at the map excerpt to make the right amount of each. After painting the rest of the tile, hot glue the spaces on. Let's knock out a quick spell effect for the Prismatic Wall. In Microsoft Word, draw a rectangle and make it 1 inch tall and 7 inches long. Copy it, paste, and move the new one immediately below it, touching. Fill this one black and change its height to 1/2 inch. Another rectangle below, again touching. For this one, change it to be 2 inches tall and change the fill to a gradient using the rainbow preset. Copy that rectangle below, again touching, and finally one more rectangle at the bottom, 1/2 inch tall and black. Print it. Cut it out and fold where the colors change in the directions that you see here. Use glue stick and a strip of cereal box inside for strength to bring it all together, and another strip of cereal box under the base for strength and stability. Bingo! Prismatic Wall spell effect, and this one happens to be 30 feet long. And before we go to the table, I'd like to take a moment to thank all WCV sponsors. This week I draw your attention to Dungeon Cast by Dan Bocchini. Dan's designs are full-on custom resin casts. He's currently focusing on 1 1/4 inch grid tiles destined for box sets with playable D&D scenarios in them, basically an evening in a box. So click the link in the description below and check out the Dungeon Cast Facebook page. So here's the room set up as the party sees it upon entering. The idea is, upon stepping on a colored tile, a character and all their possessions take on that color, as if illuminated by a filtered light. If they then step onto another tile, they change color again, according to the classic rules for mixing. So red stepping onto a blue tile will turn purple, red onto yellow orange, yellow onto blue green, you get the idea. Now if you're a secondary color and you step onto a third tile, then you turn a muddy brown, and if you then step on a fourth tile, you turn pitch black. There's many ways the party might address this: dexterity checks, jumping, pole vaulting, flying, wall climbing, whatever. Also, a Dispel Magic spell will clear a character of all colors gained. The module gives all the technical details, so I won't belabor it here. So as a character gets to the eastern area beyond the colored tiles, as soon as they step there, something will happen based on whatever color they are. Some of the effects are okay, but most are pretty bad. If they manage to move 10 feet beyond the colored grid, a prismatic wall is triggered and suddenly appears at the indicated spot on the map. The spell functions as normal, except that a character may ignore the effects of the color that they currently are, as if filtered. At the far side, a 10-foot length of wall protrudes curiously from the eastern wall. This is actually part of a turnstile. A hidden small lever on the right side can be found, and pulling it causes the turnstile to rotate a quarter turn counterclockwise. We represent this with the tiles simply by adding a dead end. The new section protruding into the main room has another lever in the same spot. The original lever is now useless, but the new one will cause the turnstile to rotate again. And so on and so on. The one that's out in the room is active. The danger is that this turnstile is basically God-proof. Nothing can stop the rotations short of a wish spell, nothing can cause it to go backwards, so there better be at least one party member left in the main room at all times. For the original module, the northeast cell contains a feature important for the adventure, but that's where you would insert anything you want if you're just dropping this room into your own dungeon. So I am Wyloch, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.